Hello, this is a tutorial. I like just to continue talk a little bit about game mode. I think that part is a little bit confusing, so let's talk more. I'm using the demonstration level from last tutorial. I like to talk more on the word settings and game mode. By default, you have many options to define a game mode. For example, I have this as a BP sort low poly. So if I play, I would do this in a selected viewport. You can definitely see it in this third person game mode. And this one is pointing to this superhero low poly. So that is really handy. This is for everyone. If you want to create your own level, you probably want to create your own character. In that case, instead of using the third person low poly, you can create your own game mode. Okay, but before that, I just want to show you a few other things. Besides the third person low poly, I have this default called third person game mode. In this case, it's a superhero girl. So if I play, you can see the superhero girl show up, right? So we did this for the multiplayer before. So she is able to fly, and yeah. So this is the superhero. And also besides this third-person game mode, we also have this called collaborative viewer. This is the default from the template. So in this one, if I play, you can see this one, the pawn is none, but they have some blueprint script automatically spawn the girl, the superhero girl. So here, if I play, you can see on the screen, by default, I'm in the flying mode. You can see from the shadow, I can switch to the walking mode right here, and also I can switch to the VR mode. In order to see this in the VR mode, I assume if you have a headset, you have to switch to the VR preview in order to see it. So if I play that, and then here on the screen, I'm able to trigger this VR view, then I can see the whole environment through the VR headset. And here I can use a motion controller. I need to find where is my motion controller here. So here I can see my hand, then I'm able to teleport. I'm able to grab and pick up objects. So this has been covered in the last tutorial. Okay, so this is in the VR mode. I do want to mention, if you are running this not in the collaborative view mode, if you do this in a, let's see, third person game mode, right? So if I run here, you can still see this in VR because VR is built into this third person game mode as well. The only difference is if I look, I'm actually controlling this third person superhero. So she is running, I'm able to kind of chasing the superhero as an immersive camera. And also I can using F to fly, I can go up. I believe C is the key. You can switch to the first person. In this case, I can actually fly. You can tell from my shadows on the ground, I am the superhero. And also I can using shift to fast fly. This is a little bit motion sick if you are not got used to it. So this is built into the superhero. If I do switch to, let's say, low poly, it's a third person low poly right here. So if I play, I should be able to see this low poly version of superhero. So it's FIB. So he's able to fly using the F key as well. Right. Yeah, so I'm able to control that, and also the C key on the keyboard switch to the first person, so I can look down from the height. So it really depends on the direction of your look. So the fly is always follow the direction of your view. So that's built in this flying character. Okay. So that is the immersive. It's a little bit hard to view from the screen. I know. All right, so this is the default game mode. I do want to mention because by default I like to use a collaborative view. This is the one we set up for the multiplayer, right? So when people get in, it's automatically in a collaborative view. But however, in your individual levels, if you want to set up a different game mode or different character, feel free to do so. So here I can show you in maybe I will be using the some examples I did before. So the first one is 18 ton, right? If you recall, this is the one I have some basic one, right? In this case, I probably do not want to have the VR pong, since this VR pong by default is from the VR template, it's not from the collaborative view. There are some issues with the grabbing. I already disabled the grabbing, so this one do not have grabbing. But this is the one you can switch to other view modes if you like. And also I can go back to the lobby, which is the I think is a start lobby, right? So here we can see I have this as a third person game mode as well. So by default, if I play, the superhero girl will show up, right? But if you recall in the last tutorial, I manually added another character. So this is actually the low poly character. I drag it in, and then in the details, if I go ahead type pong, right, I manually assign this to player 0. So this will override the game mode during the play. So player 0 gonna replace a superhero girl. That's how this could be useful. If you do not want to change the game mode, you can use one of the default game mode, but you can drag your own character here and then let it possess the player 0. This only works for the single player mode. If you have multiplayers, this would be an issue. But anyway, for most of you, this would be a really cheap, easy solution if you do not want to deal with the game mode, right? Just do the player 0. To approve the concept, if I play, okay, so now I'm in a VR mode. I'm able to look down and see the low poly character, and I can use the keyboard to control. I can switch C to get the first person view. I'm also able to use F, right, to fly up and to get closer. So this is all in VR. That's pretty cool. So just to let you know, this is by default is built into the third person character. If I press C again, I can see the character one more time. Okay. Yeah. So this is a pretty cool VR mode. You are able to get really close to uh, to the dragon. Press C. I can look up and see the dragon here. All right. Great. So yeah, you got an idea about this third-person superhero, low poly, or the girl. They all have this VR mode. I do want to show you a few other examples by students. I think they did a good job to create their own levels or their own ways to set up the pong. So, for example, in the hospital, this is a project made by Brooke, and I can see her level. Um, so I can see her level is in the hospital map. I believe this is a new one. Uh, so this level, because she's using the VR Pong to have the first person immersive view. So ideally, the game mode, you can just simply using the collaborative view. So this is the game mode she's using. So if I play this in a VR mode, uh, I'm able to actually see the entire level. I can also switch to AR mode, then I'm able to see things in the VR. Okay, so that's pretty cool. In this case, I'm able to use my default VR to, you know, teleport. I can go to the different locations. I can look around and see the scenario setting. So that's really nice. Plus, because you are using the collaborative view mode, so there's a default menus. You can pick up X-ray. You can do lots of things. You can make the objects as X-ray. You can make the human body as X-ray as well. So this is built into uh, this collaborative viewer, and also, the hotkey she programmed allow to switch the models and turn on, turn off the lighting, which is using the L key on the keyboard. So you see the lighting change. Okay, so anyway, so this is a really good way to using the collaborative viewers game mode. For other examples, for example, I know Bao actually did his own level using, I think it's a dungeon base. Yeah, I'm not exactly sure which is the name of the level. I would say maybe Bao level. And here I can see in a game mode, he's creating his own game mode. It's called third-person game mode Bao level. So here, if I search, you can see he basically just duplicated the third-person one, rename, and then he's able to switch the character to superhero Bao. So in this character, he has customized some BP code. So if I play now, I'm not doing this in VR. I'm just doing this in a maybe just a default viewport. So you can see the character is customized. It's not using the superhero girl, and also there's some code allow you to respawn after you die. So that is all customized in the game mode. Okay, here's dial game, and also same idea. I think for some projects with a duck. Um, yeah, there's a lot of projects from students. Um, I'm not sure which one is. Oh, this is a Star Wars. Is that right? Yeah. So I will go ahead and open it. So the student's design is customized flight simulation, and here is a new game mode, which you can see is right here in the folder. So yeah, that's something you guys should all feel free to do. Is just duplicate the previous game mode, drag and drop, drag and drop, then you can choose copy here, right? That's how you make a copy. Then you rename, then you can customize. In this case, I think this is just a simple fly, and the pawn is a jet, so that's a new pawn. It's all under his folder. So here, if I fly, I'm able to uh, fly the jet, and then I'm able to fire, and yeah, you can see the trajectory of this projectile. That's really cool. So you can see the angles, the vectors of each shot. I have to get really close. Really nice. Okay, so I hope this tutorial let you know is in the whole settings you have the freedom to customize your game mode based on your game, and then you can create your own connection to your own pawn. Uh, so this will be the most efficient way. If you do have the VR built in, then you can switch to the VR preview. Then you can fly. I think the jet fly probably is not a VR. It's difficult to fly in that way. But for some default pawn, for example, the hospital thing, you can use in the collaborative view as your default game mode, default pawn. That would do the job. Okay, that's it. Okay, the last note before I close or conclude this tutorial is since we have many students working in the same level, Um, so over time, I think some file has been removed, some file has been relocated. I did these fix-up redirectors, so some missing file or the relocate to a new folder will be fixed if you do the fix-up redirectors. I also found some bugs. Maybe it's because of due to the missing link. So do not using the search directly in the content. It's gonna crash the Unreal. So just go to your individual folder, then you can search. It's a little bit easier. You can search here, but don't search directly in the content. I don't know why. It must be we have too many files there. I think that's it about the this tutorial about multiplayer, also multi-level. In the next step, I will just go ahead to probably clean up some of the files or the portals in this level. I will get rid of the portals we don't need, and also I want each of you just take a look at your folder, delete the files you do not need. You want to be super careful. Don't delete things which has a connection to your level. So you are the best person knowing all the connections. So I'm using Brooks her level as example. So if I know exactly this is a folder I need, this is a map I wanna keep, uh, which is a level. Anyway, so if you know exactly which map you need, this one, so uh, just check the location of the map, and then carefully remove files you do not need. Reference viewer is a good way. You can sort of see how many files is connected to this level, so you can get a little bit sense which one you don't need. But in general, if you know this map I'm not gonna use it, just right click and delete. Okay. For the asset, you want to be super careful because some asset might be used in your level. So you should do some cleanup work, file folder. All right. I think that's it.